Hey guys, welcome to another Disney podcast. This is episode number 13 for the week of March the 26th. Let's go.
Yes. Welcome. We have a fantastic show this week for you. Probably the most exciting guest that I've been waiting for so long. I cannot believe we got him to come on the show.
So stoked.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Hey, we got a couple things going on before we jump into the show. Let's talk about a couple of housekeeping things. One, we have our Attraction Madness tournament going on. We are in the quarterfinals, which will be over by the time you hear this. And so right now there's kind of a shocker going on, and that is that Flight of Passage is handily whipping Rise of the Resistance, which is surprising to me, but that's what's happening. So the semifinals will be live when you hear this on Friday. Vote. Prizes to be had.
Oh, yes. I love it. Oh, so we just launched Attraction Madness, which is going swimmingly, aside from Rise of the Resistance. That's my favorite ride. I don't know how it's losing. But another thing we just launched is YouTube. And if you're watching us right now, you're on YouTube. Welcome. We're happy to have you.
So good.
But if you're just listening to us, go head over to YouTube, subscribe, and watch our channel. It's so much fun. Yeah, we are kind of selfishly, we'd love to hit 100 subscribers because it's so small. It gets us our own custom link, which I'm kind of excited about.
It's our YouTube address is youtube.com/WRXQs Visa 1147. That's what it is.
I'm pretty sure there's 97 letters to it.
So ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
But once you get to 100 subscribers, we can do youtube.com/ADPod. So will you be so kind as to get, you don't even have to go watch. Just go subscribe.
Just subscribe, please.
No, you better watch.
Okay, one more quick thing I will say. Go, if you ever want to reach us, if you want to leave us a voicemail, you can call 757-563-4742. Do that. It's a lot of fun. You'll hear a little voice message, and we'll be ready when you are.
Yeah, we have some new things coming down the pipe that I think you might want to give your opinions, thoughts on. Probably either call and yell at us or just leave us a text message that you feel differently about. So we wanted to open that up so we could have like a dialogue with you guys. So another thing that we talked about last week is we launched Patreon.
Yeah, we did.
So we want to give a special shout out to some of our Patreon subscribers. First, Audrey Breen, thank you so much for coming in at the red tier. Christine Bradshaw at the red tier.
Hi, Mom.
And then Matthew's sister.
Hi, Jenna. Jenna Cahill.
Hi, Jenna.
Also at the red tier. Thank you guys so much.
Go
subscribe.
So much,
we're going to have a ridiculous amount of content flowing through Patreon for you guys. So subscribe for more stuff there. Subscribe? I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, go if you support us on Patreon. We already have our first bit of extra content on there for you to enjoy.
And more coming soon.
Yeah.
Lots of monthly stuff. Brandon's going to be live in the parks. We talked about it last week. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Last announcement that I have for you guys before we jump into the show is we have a new show that we're starting just for you guys. Okay. I'm going to give you the elevator pitch, and I think it's something that you're going to enjoy. So we're going to take things at Disney parks, whether it be an attraction, a restaurant, a land, an entire park, and we're going to ask the question.
Ask the question.
The question.
If you could redo it, what would you do? And so we're going to call this show Reimagineer It. So we're super excited. This show is going to be on our podcast channel and our YouTube channel. It's going to be way better in video, I promise you.
Yes.
And they will release every Tuesday. And our shows, this show will continue to launch on Fridays. But we're going to launch this show this coming up Tuesday. And every Tuesday until we decide that we don't want to do it anymore or you don't like it.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty straightforward.
Dave and Brandon, take it away. I just realized I didn't turn off the sound effects. Keep going. I'm going to just do this. If you see me disappear, that's why. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. We have sound effects, Brandon?
That's always fun. Sound effects are cool, but I guess we don't need them right now.
I can make some up. Beep, boop, boop, beep, beep, boop. But those aren't the kind of sound effects people want. All right, sorry, Brandon, go for it.
Well, hey, I'm super excited about the show tonight. We got some cool things, like Dave said, super awesome guests that we're going to get to later. But before we do, let's get into some park news. And I don't know if you guys saw this today. It came out this week, but finally we got some news on the Jungle Cruise reimagining. So I'm super excited about this. Well, I would say I'm excited and hesitant, both at the same time. From what's been announced, this attraction is going to be packed with new characters and a new storyline, but it's going to keep some of the old Jungle Cruise magic. So I'm kind of excited about that. It's going to feature Alberta Falls. So those familiar with the Jungle Navigation Company will be familiar with her. Disney released a teaser issue of the Daily News that gives us some information about her backstory. We'll link that in our show notes so you guys can check it out. But I'm super excited about it. I love the Jungle Cruise. I think part of the charm of the Jungle Cruise is the cheesiness of it, right?
For sure.
The cheesiness of the skippers, the cheesiness of the effects. So I understand that they got to update it. There's a new movie coming out. As we always talk about, they got to IP everything. So we got to update it because we got to make it more relevant with the new movie.
That's right.
But part of me feels like the nostalgia of it may be lost just a little bit. So, I mean, I guess the only constant in life, and especially at Disney, is that there's going to be some sort of change. But does that mean we really have to accept it so freely? I don't know. Jungle Cruise is one of my top 10 rides. So I'm just concerned that it may lose a little bit of the nostalgia. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but I was excited to see the new news about what could be coming.
Well, here's my suggestion to you. If you're not happy about the changes or have some input, you should write the editor of the Daily News. Get it?
Good news.
Good news? The good news. Okay. No, I'm excited. Because I know there was the Skipper Canteen, right? That's the restaurant.
Great restaurant. Great
super
restaurant.
Underrated. Got to go there.
I've never been there.
Steak is
go there.
absurd.
The steak is amazing, and the sauce that they put on that thing.
I'll go with you.
Okay, sounds good.
Yes. So, isn't her? She's in there, right? She's on the wall in there, or her story's in there, or something. In there. Yeah. So, it's a part of the folklore or lore of the story. So, I think it's I think a reimagineering of this. I'm excited for it. I mean, I know we keep beating this dead horse, but it's not a museum. Walt says, the parks will always be changing, always be evolving. I'm for it. Would I agree with you that could some of the nostalgia be lost? Maybe, but as long as there's a boat and as long as there's really bad jokes, I think that feel will still remain. What do you think?
Exactly what I think. Yeah. If there's boats, if there's elephants, if there's skippers, if it goes down a tree-lined river, it's the same vibe, same ride.
Yeah, it was so funny. Like Kim and I are rewatching Imagineering, and we got to the part last night. That was in the first episode, I think, where they were they had dug out everything for the ride, and they were in a station wagon going through, driving through where the ride was going to be. I was like, you don't see that every day.
I love it.
That's pretty wild.
That's the
But
best.
as long as the boats continue to float, we'll be great.
Yep.
Touche.
That's for sure. So let's take it from Adventureland to Tomorrowland. I have two news stories. Sorry, I cheated.
It's okay.
But it's fine. They're both exciting. Okay, number one, Tron Light Cycle Run has reached its peak of construction. So
that pause, it's peak of construction.
No, so literally the canopy has reached its height, the highest it'll be. And so you always know that will be correct when that's when they mark it with the American flag. And so
that's right.
And so that is true. I am really excited. I know I've talked to Dave about this before, but I'm really excited for to have a new skyline. It's going to be really cool to have a new skyline at the Magic Kingdom. And right now it's ugly, but when it's all done, it's going to be so cool. And I'm really excited to. So now that the canopy has reached its height and everything is kind of done, the structure, the skeleton of it is done. Now they can start adding those thematic elements and everything will actually start looking cool. And so I'm pumped. I'm really excited. So, okay, that's number one. Number two.
Okay.
We've got People Mover news.
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, it's kind of news, kind of not.
You said People Mover?
People Mover Watch 2021. Okay.
Is that a hashtag? It should be.
It should be. If it's not, it should be.
Let's start.
It's going to be.
Yep. Okay, so it might almost be over. I know we've said this. I might be jinxing it. I don't know. We'll find out. They started training with cast again.
For the second time.
So I'm really excited. I hope it's going to be open in May when I go.
Well, the last...
Fingers crossed.
The last time that they pushed it back, they said April, right? Did they say... They just said April.
No, they haven't said anything.
Well, no, the last time they said it, they pushed it to April.
They said April.
Wasn't it early April? I don't want to... I feel like it was April 3?
Yeah.
Does that sound about right, Brandon?
Yeah, that sounds right. Last I heard, it was supposed to be early April. Now it was pushed back again. And like Matthew said, this time they were smart enough to not say a date. So
sweet.
Well, they haven't...
August 2023, we're coming for you.
Yeah, yes. They haven't set a date, but the hours are back on the calendar, so we'll figure that out.
All right.
Sweet. All right.
Yep. I don't know. Dave, what you got?
Let's hang out at Magic Kingdom, but we're going to go back to the gate. Okay.
Ooh.
So yesterday, they announced that Disney World announced that they'll be testing facial recognition at park entry. Now, first thing you need to know, this is completely voluntary. They're doing it starting yesterday.
Yes,
yesterday, and is running through April 23rd. So it's for 1 month. And so
yesterday, Tuesday, it's March 23rd.
It's right at the beginning. We'll throw a picture on the screen so you can see it, and we'll give a link in the show notes. It's like this little screen, like with a little gray around it, and there's a camera on it, and you just sit and look at it. Okay, so let me read the little press release. With the future in mind and the shift in focus to more of touchless experiences, we're conducting a limited 30-day test using facial recognition technology. The technology we're using captures an image of a guest's face and converts it into a unique number. More on that in a second. Which is then associated with a form of admission being used for park entry. So if you're watching the video or looking at the link, you'll see that the logo for this is has a mask, like the little logo they're using, like the person is wearing a mask. So I thought it was going to be like when you go to the airport and you pull your mask down just for a second so the agent can make sure that you're you, and then they let you go through security and so on and so forth. But I'm guessing with the mask on the little logo for this, you're going to wear your mask on, which, okay, that's fine. There's different identifiers that they can use. But let's get back to the little press release. Can we talk about this for a minute? Okay. I mean, I get the why behind this, but that last sentence was super creepy. Let me refresh it. The technology we're testing captures an image of a guest's face and converts it into a unique number.
Yikes.
Really?
Yikes.
Really, Disney?
I'm going to be a number.
So, I mean, I already know I'm a number to you, but you put it in your press release. Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
They could have said a unique identifier.
Yes, thank you. That's okay. But in all seriousness,
that's not much different for me.
I'm going to be completely honest. I am all for anything that's going to speed us up getting into the park.
Ooh.
But I feel like I need some more info on this. And I want to say, and I'm sure they'll come out with more info, but no, it's happening right now. So I guess you could ask, but anybody else like me where you're like, I have some questions. So who's going to see this? What are they going to do with this? I mean, right now we all have masks on, so that's at least one benefit, but they're not going to last forever. And, if this is something that they commit to doing, again, I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be voluntary. I hope, but I mean, overall, this is cool. I'm just going to leave it with, I need some more information. Thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. I'm a little bit, I mean, I'm not creeped out. Like, honestly, I probably could be more careful with how I use security and stuff like that, honestly. But at the same time, it's like, you know, what's the benefit? I guess I see this. It's like going from Touch ID to Face ID.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
What's the point? Like, it was smart. It was smart. Convenience, yes.
Touchless.
But it's touchless, convenient. But at the same time, I mean, I guess people were having trouble with their fingerprints, maybe? I don't know, but I just feel like this won't be any quicker. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, Brandon, what do you think?
I
don't know.
I may be out on an island here, but I'm kind of excited about this. Like, there's so many things in the Disney park right now that probably use face recognition anyway. Like, I know, like, on rides like Splash Mountain and, you know, some of those other rides, even if you didn't have a magic band, somehow magically your picture showed up on My Disney Experience. So, I mean, they're using some sort of facial recognition anyway.
Sure.
To me, I think it's cool. Like, I'm with Dave. Anything that's going to potentially speed up the process to get into the park without having people fumble with an app or without people fumbling with their fingerprint or their magic bands is good in my book. I'm heading to the park tomorrow probably, and I'm going to try it out. So I'll report back how it goes, but I'm kind of excited about it.
So you want to know the kind of facial recognition I want to see? I want to see facial recognition that recognizes me without me having to tap my magic band.
Well, I would imagine that's what they're going for, right?
That's not what they're going for.
I think this one says that the way I read it was the only magic band tap you had to do was at the very beginning to identify you with the picture that is coming. Match your name and your my Disney profile with the picture that it's about to take. And then I think when you go in, like, you don't have to scan your magic band every time. I think you just walk through the facial recognition once you're registered in the system. That's how I took it.
So I may be mistaken.
That's your homework for us, but I still don't think you'll be able to know, because tomorrow you'll go and submit it, but then who even knows, like, how... Like, I feel like they're just gathering the data. Like, I don't know in this month period that you'll be able to be like, oh, hey, is there going to be a line way off to the right that, like, oh, if you do facial recognition, over here. Like, I'm hoping that's what it'll do, but maybe they're just gathering it. And that's what I said by, I need more information. So our in-parks coordinator, please report back to us.
Yes, I will. Like I said, we're going tomorrow, and it's every intent that I have to sign up, like, volunteer to do it. So I'll see if I can ask some questions. If it's just like hey, you sign up for this now and you can't do it until May, or hey, if you come back anytime during April, walk through this lane and scan your face and get in. So we'll see what happens.
I mean, I know my trip is right at the end of the trial period, so I know I'll be trying it for sure. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think I get there the 23rd. So if we go to Magic Kingdom, I think I'm there on the last day. I'm going to go on and be like, smiling underneath my mask that you can't see. Okay, so here's the one thing. So Matthew was like, well, I don't know if you said this, but immediately my mind went to, like, how is this going to be quicker? Because that's the ultimate goal, right? And so I think the question for me is, I still stand by, I mean, the fact that, Brandon, you said you got a reservation for Magic Kingdom. It's like winning the lottery right now with spring break going on. I can't even believe you got one. And so when I think about weeks like this that the parks are having right now, is that first wave of 3 monorails that come in and the 2 boats that unload, and that line is 30 people deep trying to get in. I still am convinced that they're going to have multiple people per line with some type of mobile device. Like, I feel like that's where we're going, because how does it make it any quick unless you walk through, like, unless this facial recognition stuff turns into like you're walking through the metal detectors, right?
Yeah,
If it's that quick,
that's what I was
that changes
thinking about.
everything.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to turn into. I think the kiosks that we see up there now are specifically for the picture and data gathering. Like that is not, I think what I envision is, like we went from bag check to just walking through these metal detectors now, and we don't have to worry about stopping. I think that is what our facial recognition is going to get towards. It's almost like, I don't know if Florida people sun pass lanes. I mean, you just drive straight through,
right,
and it just registers your sun pass, and you don't even, you're still going 80 down the highway. So I think we're moving towards that. It may take a stop in between where you have to scan your face at a machine just as a natural progression towards where they're trying to go. But I think we're going towards like the sun pass model of just 15 people could walk through at one time and it registers everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be dope.
I think that would be fantastic. But, part of me is like, I don't think technology's there yet, but maybe it is. Maybe it is.
Can I please, Disney, hey friends, if you're listening, can you please make a first timers line?
Please.
Thank you.
Think of the people.
Suggestion. Don't take it as my suggestion, because I know if I suggest it, you can't do it. Don't take it as my suggestion. Take it as yours.
If
Open
you don't
hands.
know how to find them, they're the ones with the gray magic bands. Those are your first timers.
They
or
come
with the
from
little
the
key
will
to
call
the world
window.
card.
Yes.
Yes. Pretty much. Just like one line straight from will call to an entrance. That's their line.
There you go.
That would be good.
Move to the right, please. Down, not on the right, all the way down to the right.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, I've been waiting for this for a few weeks now. It was just a few weeks ago that I talked to you about this, that I had reached out to, in my mind, this person is a Disney legend, to see if he would be willing to come onto the show. And so sent an email out into the world, not expecting anything. It was a couple of days later, he responded.
Ooh.
Yes. I'm the over under on me tearing up. What did you say, Matthew? It's pretty high.
It's pretty high.
So if you have been to Walt Disney World in this century, basically, there's no way that you would not recognize not only this man's work in more than just narration, by the way, which we'll get to, but across multiple rides, one of which could be in your top. We already know it was in your top 5 because we did this a few weeks ago.
Yep.
And so I'm going to let him introduce himself in only the way that he can. And so, Mike, I turn it over to you.
Well, hi, I'm Mike Brassell, and since 2007, I've been living with the land.
Yes.
Yes.
We love that.
Oh, man. It's so good.
Great.
We're trying not to fangirl. We've been barely keeping it together over the past couple of weeks as this was nearing and coming to air. And so, Mike, thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule to come and talk to us about your time of partnership with the Disney company, because it has a couple more facets than people probably aren't aware of. So we wanted to unpack that, get to know a little bit more about your story and that experience, what it was like in your time with Disney. So let me get this straight, because my facts could be all over the place, because that's a pretty high probability when it comes to me. So I believe that you started your career with Disney in Walt Disney feature animation. Yeah, is that right?
That's exactly right.
Okay, and so what did you do there?
Okay, I started my Disney journey in, was it 1997? I believe it was. 1997. And I had a funny story, actually, how I got there. I was leaving a different company, as a matter of fact, and my wife was pregnant with our second child, I believe. And we were in California at the time. And I had no idea we lived in a neighborhood with a bunch of industry people. I had no idea. So we go to our Lamaze class, and we're doing the breathing exercises, all that stuff, and just having a great time. And we're chilling with some other couples. They're nice and friendly, and we're talking to one couple in particular. And we're just talking about everything, chopping it up, talking about jobs and the economy and what we do. And of course, that came up. And the guy turned out to be an editor for animated features. And I didn't know too much about that at the time. We got to be good friends, though. They were, obviously, his wife was pregnant. They were going through the class as well. And we just started talking every week more about what was going on. And I ended up just telling him, sort of confiding in him, hey, my time at this other job is coming to an end. You got anything? And he's like, you know what? I actually do. I have a PA job for the editorial department. He was the editor of the film that I had actually ended up joining. So cut the long story short, I ended up, my wife had the baby. So congratulations to her. And me, I guess. I was the father. So I got the job, and it was for Cats Don't Dance. It was Turner Feature Animation. It was when Ted Turner had a startup. I don't know if you guys remember that studio, or even the film. They did Pagemaster first, and then they broke out on their own and did Cats Don't Dance. And the editor of that film was a good friend of mine. And I came on, but I did not come on as a PA in Cats Don't Dance. I came. I had to spend more time at my other job before I got hired there. And then I came on in the general PA pool, and it went from there. Well, and I'll just skate through that one real quick. Working with Cats Don't Dance was my first animated feature. It was awesome. I made some great friends who moved on to Disney once that film was done. And they brought me along. And that's how I got into Walt Disney Feature Animation. It's just a tight-knit animation community, and there's so many awesomely brilliantly talented artists and producers and managers and all kinds of folks there. It's absolutely awesome. And I came in on Fantasia 2000.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. Actually, it was Fantasia. There was a couple names that it had gone through, and they finally landed on Fantasia 2000, but it was Fantasia Forever, or maybe I said that wrong. And they had merchandise that they would give us, cups, coffee mugs, T-shirts as well. And the ones that didn't make it, the names, those are somewhat rare now. So I think I actually have one of those. I just can't remember what it's called.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
But it's cool.
Nice.
Very cool. Okay, so then is that kind of with that? So your friend was the editor, and then they transitioned to the Walt Disney Company. And was that your connection for Lilo and Stitch and Brother Bear? Is that where that all kind of unfolded? And then what were your roles when it came to those two films?
Okay, so I was a PA when I started Fantasia 2000, went through a bunch of other films. As a matter of fact, you just touch every one of them here and there, depending on the needs. And so I actually have a list here, if you don't mind me rattling this off. I did
Away.
I did work on Fantasia 2000, as I mentioned, and then I transitioned over to Hercules just for a little bit. And then Beauty and the Beast the same way, when they brought back Alan Menken's song, Human Again. I managed to touch the actual artwork. That was cool.
Wow.
No way.
The way they brought the artwork in, man, was something to note. As a matter of fact, the people from their library, the research library, brought it in. I mean, they had to wear gloves. You couldn't handle any of it was just spectacular. And our guys had to work on it. It was just the coolest thing to see their excitement from something that was just so legendary in the Disney archives. It was absolutely astounding. I was happy to be part of that. And then, of course, Atlantis, Emperor's New Groove, I went on. I
love that movie.
One of my favorites.
Me too. And then Tarzan, of course. And then at that particular point, a good friend of mine he's a producer, and he was going to go down to the Orlando or the Florida studio, Disney MGM at the time it was called. And he said, Mike, you wanna come down, man? I'm like, man, yeah, I'll never say no. He goes, okay, let's do it. So he went down to start producing, and I had no idea it was Lilo and Stitch until we got down there. We're like, what is this film? Lilo and Stitch. Okay, cool. So what is it about? And we went through a couple of short shows beforehand just to kind of run through everything. And that was John Henry and Goofy, How to Haunt a House. So I started working on those two before Lilo and Stitch came in, and it went through a bunch of iterations, of course, as all Disney movies go through, and ultimately ended up there doing assistant production management. I was an APM, and basically I just managed 4 or 5 of the last departments before the animation got into the camera. Was shot, scanned, painted, sent out to California, treated, brought back on film, and then part of my department, or a job in that department, was to show that to the directors for their final approval, or to put it back into the system for a retake or what have you. That's what my job was. I was a production manager there.
Wow, that's fascinating.
That's great. Well, Mike, I know that one of the biggest things that we're actually really excited about, you're probably like, it was like a small part of my career. But one thing that we're really excited about, we all love living with the land. So I would love to know, how did that project come about for you, and how did you handle that?
Well, thank you for asking that question. I love it. I think it's it was one of those another one of those astounding moments for me. I did not get into voiceovers while I was at Disney, except right at the tail end, and that was around 2002, I believe. I say tail end because it ultimately closed the studios. I think you guys know the story there. Right.
Yeah.
But I was getting trained to do voiceovers right around that time, and I didn't really do much. But I started to meet people in the industry, as you do when you start to put yourself out there, in the Orlando area especially. So I had an agent and done some work, enough to actually be called back for an audition. So I went in, and it was in Celebration, as a matter of fact, a pretty cool studio there. Went in and started speaking and with the script, and they gave me some notes, and I did the changes, and I went home, and it was very cool. And that script itself was the monorail script. I didn't get that job.
Wow.
Oh, dang.
Oh, man.
Yes, that was cool. When I first saw it, I was like, what's going on? I had no idea that I was even being called in for that. And I don't know if it came through my agent. Sorry about the confusion there. So I get a call from my producer now, and they want me to come in and do another audition. It was not at the same studio. It was actually at Disney. And I was like, okay, cool. So I come in, and they put me into the booth, and they go, okay, read this. And so, I ask them, we go through directions. How do you want me to do this? And they just be casual, just say things like this and keep this low key. I'm like, okay. And in front of me is the script of Living with the Land. And so I'm reading it, and I pause for corrections and instruction and all that good stuff, which is normal in the process. And they sent me home. They said, thank you. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And call me back and say, hey, you got the job. Why don't you just come on in? We'll just do some corrections. Because they kept basically what I did there as the take or the takes.
Wow.
It's
a one-take wonder.
That's how
Nice.
I got it, for me, at least for that. So I went back in, did the corrections. I'm like, I can't believe that. It was so, I should say this. I wasn't nervous because I didn't know what it was. Had I known, had they say, hey, this is going to be an attraction you're on in a park at Epcot, at Disney, are you joking? I would have blew it. I would have blown it. I know I would have, but it was just so casual, and they treated it just right. I wasn't nervous, and I just, went through what I was supposed to do, took the direction and spoke the way I was supposed to, and I got the job. So it was the coolest thing.
Nice.
That's unbelievable.
That
Okay, I'm
is
going to spring a surprise question on you. Okay. The first time you rode that with vacationers, how do you do that? Because I'd have sat there and be like, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. And what was that like to experience that with other people, knowing that, hey guys, that's me.
Yeah, okay, I wouldn't be human if I didn't say I felt just like that.
Right? Come on.
That's great.
Yeah, exactly. I did. It was crazy. Now, obviously, I know it's me, right? But nobody around me knows this, and you don't know if you're not saying anything because you're just riding the attraction. So you're like, this is just surreal. I don't even know how to process this. It's just kind of cool to have this happen. So, and I think I wrote it with my family the first time we did it without, the first time we heard it with my voice on the narration, doing the narration for the attraction.
Nice. I mean, that's, I can't even imagine just like sitting there and just being like, I will be on this forever. Like this recording will be me. People will quote me. Dave will quote you.
Yes.
So, obviously we love Living with the Land. And then obviously we move on to Matthew's favorite, definitely. It's one of my favorites. It made number 6. Honestly, it made number 6. But the People Mover, hopefully we are getting that thing back up and running soon. But Mike, what's it like to know that your voice is on these rides and that millions of people are experiencing this every single year?
When you put it like that, it sounds insane to me. It really does. It's awesome. And you don't know how grateful I am to have those opportunities. Honestly, that's the way I really feel about it. It's awesome. I love it. But and on the other hand, I don't usually think about it. I haven't hit the parks too much, and it's not in my daily. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I don't run it over all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, that's happening. That's kind of cool, and it makes me happy to remember that. But I'm just so grateful to be able to be a part of those institutions and those attractions. I think it's awesome. I'm very proud of that. I really am. And the kids love it too. So, and no one believes them. None of their friends believe them. And I just think that that's awesome. Well,
my dad's at Disney. My dad's at Disney.
Are your kids like, they bring their friends over and they're like, Dad, do the thing.
Dad, just say it. Just say you're living with the land, Dad.
Right, yes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Now, one thing I had a question about with both Living with the Land and the People Mover, did you have any input on the scripts, or did they just kind of give it to you and you said what they wrote?
Yes, it's what you just said. I didn't have any input whatsoever. It was Imagineering and whatever writing team that they have for those attractions, and I just said what they wrote.
Nice. Sometimes that's all we can do, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, you got the gig. That's all
that
matters,
the gig,
right?
so you read it right. You read it right.
Yeah, just unbelievable still.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Hey, so, Mike, you talked about, your journey from feature animations to then randomly, I had no idea that you just kind of randomly landed on this voiceover thing. What, it's been some years now. What is your daily now? What are you doing with your career?
I voice something almost every week, as a matter of fact, with my voiceover clientele. So I'm busy with that quite a bit. I'm still doing management work as well for another contract. And I write production music also for film and TV. So, and I also score documentaries right now as well. So I'm trying to stay busy on all those fronts.
So what you're saying is not very much.
Just a little here and there.
There was one thing we forgot to mention. Is this true? Like I read on the internet, and we know everything's true on there, that you also wrote, so for Space Mountain, did you write the cue music that was in there?
Now that's one I'm so glad you asked me, so I can clear it up, at least here. Yes. I did not write the cue music, but I will say this: when I'm in the attraction, when you're in the attraction, of course, that is my music in there. And right at the when you load out and you're standing under the speakers when you get out of your rocket, that is my music there.
Okay.
Stop it! I love that music.
Nice.
So it's in the ride. Okay, cool, perfect. I couldn't remember what it was. So man, that is awesome, Mike. I thank you, thank you for accepting this little nerd's email and saying, "Sure, I'll come on and join your silly show." It really does mean the world to us. Thank you for being just such a, like, every time we go to the parks, there's not a time that we don't hit those 2 rides. And so thanks for all the memories. And like, I went on there growing up, and now my kids get to go on there from time to time. And, you know, now when next time we go, I'll be able to, like, Dad, talk to the guy, that guy right there. Like,
I'm going to point to the people next to me and be like, I talked to that guy.
Yeah. I know him. I saw him on an iPad.
You guys are too much. I love it. Thank you for having me on here. I appreciate it. And thanks for your support. I got to tell you, I'm proud to be part of the magic. I truly am. And I'd love to stay as long as Disney will have me.
Awesome.
Yes. We'll drop a note to some of the execs when they're there.
So, yeah, would you?
Hello, thank you.
Yeah, I'll talk to Chapek.
So they can laugh in our face. Mike, it's been an honor. Thank you for coming on and hanging out with us for a few minutes. It's been great to kind of hear your story and your journey, and best of luck to you. And we will put in a word for you at the parks.
Indeed.
Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. The honor is mine.
Man, I'm pumped about this, guys.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
We are starting a brand new segment for our show because we thought we needed a little bit more controversy, disagreement. Like that's not right. We don't you know what? We have to get along.
We don't disagree.
We don't disagree. But we wanted to add some drama in hopes that you would call or text in and tell us what you would pick. And that's right. So if you're watching the video version, you saw it. We're starting a new segment called Pick One. So here's the elevator pitch for Pick One. 3 things, something to do with Disney. Not going to give you a category, just 3 things. You can only pick one of them, and you can only pick one of them, and the other 2 are gone forever. And you have to defend and say why the one you picked is most important. You guys ready?
Ready.
Okay,
Ready.
We're going to start off with the Battle of the Mountains. So Space Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder Mountain.
Big
Words
mountain.
are my favorite. The new ride, Big Thunder Mountain, and Splash Mountain. Mm-hmm. Okay, you guys ready?
All right.
Yeah.
Battle Royale. You can pick yours. The other 2 are gone forever. You can't ever ride it again. They're gone. You see? Does everybody understand that? It's gone.
It's
Forever.
gone forever.
Okay.
Noted.
Here we go. Who wants to start?
I mean, I can start. I think.
Okay,
I
so
think-
Brandon, what's your answer? None of us know.
I know.
I think you know, but my answer is Splash Mountain. That's my one. I'm keeping Splash Mountain forever. Whether
Why?
it is the old version or the new Princess and the Frog version, even though I haven't seen it yet, I have no idea what it's going to be. Splash Mountain stays for me. And I'll tell you why. Space Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain, they're roller coasters that, to be honest, they don't really excite me. I'm going to say it. I love the length of Splash Mountain. I love all the drops and the water features in Splash Mountain. And it's just a overall better ride to me than both Space and Thunder. People used to say to me, if you could fly, when I lived in Maryland, if you could fly to Disney, ride one ride, get back on the plane and fly back to Maryland, what would it be? Splash Mountain every single time. So bye-bye Space, bye-bye Thunder, Splash Mountain all the way.
Please,
Sorry, what?
Dave,
Is he done?
come on.
Is he done?
That's valid.
Look, the only thing that ride has going for it is when it's 850 degrees outside, there's a little bit of water feature, and it goes into the AC a little bit, and it's long.
I will ride that ride when it's 40 degrees outside.
Am I a
too.
fan?
Thank you.
Am I a fan of that ride? You betcha.
Apparently not.
No, you betcha. But it doesn't hold a candle to Big Thunder Mountain. Let me tell you why, okay? That's actually a thrilling attraction,
You
which
can't hold a
Disney...
candle on any of these rides, guys.
It'll blow out.
Thrilling.
It'll blow out or it'll get...
Did you
All
just
the
say
water.
Big Thunder Mountain was thrilling?
Yes, it's actually a thrill ride, which Disney is kind of hurting for those. I'm going to just throw that out there. There's a little park down the street that seems to outdo them in thrilling rides, but we're not going to talk about that part. So it's thrilling, okay? The theming is perfection, all right? the old, like the whole reason why you got to ride it is the old dude at the beginning that said, "This is the wildest ride in the wilderness." Doesn't sound anything like that. Another great feature, it's an incredible ride at night, especially when the fireworks are going off. Rest in peace.
Preach.
But,
Right.
and so I can't tell you how many times we rode that during Wishes. And I don't think I've done it during Happily Ever After.
I
But
have.
Yeah, it's a thrilling ride. Great theming. It's a classic. It fits right into the land. So again, Disney, I have a question for you. Please explain to me how Tiana fits into Frontierland. I can't figure that one out. Are you with me? Nobody's with me.
I mean, I'm with you, but they have barely released any information on the attraction. So
I know.
Yeah.
But I love that
how do we
movie.
know?
I mean,
We'll figure it
maybe
out.
she's gonna be Cowboy Tiana.
I love Princess and the Frog. That was a great movie. Super underrated.
Okay.
But it's got to go, man. Big Thunder's where it's at.
But here, before you go, Matthew, here's the one reason I don't like Big Thunder. After you go out of the station and you're going up the first hill, you're deaf. You're deaf.
That is
You're
true.
deaf. You can't hear a thing.
Yeah.
So that's not thrilling to
Ouch.
me to not be able to hear.
Wait, did you say something?
Correct.
Yeah, Dave rides Big Thunder Mountain so much that he can't hear anything anymore.
Huh?
He's gone deaf. He's gone deaf.
That is a valid point.
So why
I
does he
stand
have a
by my
podcast?
decision.
I don't know. Okay, my answer. I'm still debating on whether or not my answer is actually the best one, but for me, it's Space Mountain.
Really? I didn't know you. I didn't think you would pick
Of
that.
course. No way.
It is. It is 100%. And it's I love Splash Mountain. I love Big Thunder Mountain. I love both of them, but I don't know. It's just something about the idea of boarding a rocket and having a bunch of fun in the dark. Great.
I have so many questions. What do you do in the dark?
That seems,
I ride roller coasters in the dark.
that
What do you
seems
do?
sketchy.
Now, Matthew, I do have to say this.
Yeah.
This is my wife's favorite ride at any park.
Yeah.
Well, Cars Land or Radiator Springs Racers. But
I mean, I get
on
it.
the East Coast, this is her favorite ride.
Okay, hold on. Pause. Tell me this. Does it stay off of your list, even though Space Mountain technically has 2 attractions in it?
I'm sorry, what?
Huh?
People Mover is also in Space Mountain.
Yeah, but they can. Well, hold on. Now I have to have a qualifying question. Can we remove the Space Mountain building and keep People Mover? If we can't, that may drastically change my response.
Is this up to me?
No, it stays.
Okay.
No.
It stays.
Okay.
It stays.
Okay. Phew.
Well, that's my answer. I mean,
well-
I like Space Mountain for many different reasons, but I think it's super fun to not know where you're going next. I love that. So riding a roller coaster in the dark is super fun, and I love the little stars. I love the soundtrack to the ride while you're riding it. Thank you, Mike. Yeah. And I love and when it's down, which happens frequently, ride the People Mover because you'll get to see it with the lights on.
He just proved why it needs to go.
Stop it right now.
You just argued for why it never needs to be there.
It does look cool with the lights.
Hey,
on.
but also my favorite ride is the People Mover,
It's
Yeah,
true.
it's true.
So as long
which
as we
goes
can
down
leave that.
19 times a day.
well, it hasn't
It's
run
been
for over a
down
year.
For a year.
Dave almost changed his answer because of the People Mover.
You're right. It carries a lot of weight.
I'm
Almost.
just saying.
And it's not even operating,
Almost.
and it carries that much weight.
Yeah.
Now, here's what Kim said, which I don't think you brought up, which surprised me. She's like, almost the entire, well, really, pre-COVID, the entire queue is in the air conditioning. So I thought that was a
Preach.
valid point.
Yes, Kim. Yes, Kim.
So points to you, Kim, but if it was up to all three of us, none of these rides would exist in Magic Kingdom anymore.
I will say it's so weird. I rode this ride back in August, and most of my weight was outdoors.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
the corridors are so tight that they only send a few people through there at a time. and then they send a bunch of people into the lines, but that's only like a few minutes of your wait.
Right.
Yeah. The
So
last
like
time I was there, it was an hour.
Yes.
Outside.
You'll wait mostly outside and then go inside. So pre-COVID, great. We'll figure out when that comes back.
Pre-COVID, it loses. Post-COVID, it loses.
You stop it right now.
And I think also that Space Mountain, when you go up the first hill, is also very loud. I think I just don't like to be deaf when I ride a ride.
Hold on. Not really.
It's pretty loud.
It's
pretty
not.
loud.
It's not Big Thunder level.
No,
it's not.
That's untouchable.
No, nothing is Big Thunder level. That's loud.
Yeah. Now, Brandon, I do want to make sure I say this. Splash Mountain was I was this close to picking Splash Mountain, but
you didn't.
But I didn't.
You did.
But I didn't. But I just want to let you know that it was.
That's
very
okay.
close for me.
I will respect your decision.
And I respect yours.
That's why.
But
that's
it's
why
wrong.
we do the show so well together. Respect each other's opinions.
But all three of us, if we were given the chance, would bulldoze each other's rides. So it's
That's
correct.
So okay, we can all come to the conclusion that Big Thunder Mountain won, right?
No.
Okay, let's go on to the next
No.
step. Oh, okay.
That's cute.
Okay, I like this. I think this is something we should keep. Please give us some feedback. Like text us, leave us a message on our phone line, on our YouTube.
563.
You don't know the number.
757-563-4742.
Oh, now they don't know. They just heard 87 numbers. And leave us a message on Facebook. Leave us a message on our YouTube channel. Please let us know. We want to know what you would keep and why.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah.
I think
Let us know.
This.
That was a fun discussion.
Oh, hey, join our Patreon because you get to help us decide which one we do next.
There you go. Boom
There
sauce.
you go.
Oh, yeah. Exciting stuff going on Disney Plus.
Tons of stuff
Yeah.
this week.
Oh my gosh, we got so much news. So I was actually really sad about this first one. Luca's going straight to Disney Plus.
Yes.
Which is exciting because it's like it looks like an absolute masterpiece. So I'm really excited for everybody to see it. But I really wanted to see it in the movie theaters.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
I was kind of sad about that. I was really excited to see Soul in the movie theaters. That didn't happen. And now they did the same thing they did with Soul. Made it available to everybody on day one, no premiere access. So
It's interesting because they did Soul that launched Christmas Day, right? And so this one's going to be Father's Day weekend. And so it's like, I guess they're trying to hit these. Here's my guess. Did they see a bump in subscriptions because they announced that Soul was going to be included? Like, so that's my question. So maybe they still got to be running metrics and seeing what's better.
well,
Disney, let me give you a secret. The $30 premiere is not better.
oh, you can say that all you want, but Mr. Chapek himself apparently this week said the Raya premiere access was a, and I quote, success.
Yeah.
And people, I'm just saying, like, don't buy into it because if you don't buy into it, they'll stop doing it.
Vote with your wallet.
That's right.
That's correct. Speaking of premiere access,
Hold on. Let me ask you a question. Do you guys think they're going to continue to do this? I mean, this is the second pretty substantial release from their animation department that is not going to be in the theater and not going to be premiere.
Well, unfortunately, it's the second Pixar feature.
Yeah.
Which is kind of.
When did they become the
sucky.
redheaded stepchild?
Yeah, that's what I was noticing too. Like why Pixar? Like,
yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean,
it is.
They'll definitely. I think they'll continue to do this, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd like to see what the group in a room sitting around, how they decide. All right, we're going to give this one to everyone, or we're going to make everybody pay $30 for this one. Like, where's the line with that?
Oh,
Right.
come on. You know, it's George in the back saying, "Hey, let's just let this one go." You know, that's what's happening.
We went way over budget on this one. We need to charge more.
He's looking at his buddies. He's like, guys, I hit the button and it's going out like this. I didn't think they would do it.
I can't fix.
Crazy.
Yep.
I mean, I think they're still testing the waters. I mean, we have to be honest with this. You know, I mean, I forget when Disney had hoped to get to 100 million subscribers, but it was like years before that they were hoping to get to that number. I mean, clearly because of what's going on in the world. And I just think they're trying to see, you know, what the revenue differences between these two models look like. I mean, there's no doubt they're counting cash and doing numbers to see, you know, what's better.
Well, I think well, even though Pixar is like a heavy hitter, I think Disney, well, I don't know, because this next story kind of makes me think otherwise. Even though Black Widow is going to be a huge movie, like I feel like Disney's trying to make up for their box office revenue with this whole Premier Access thing, and I know they might not be doing it 100%, but I mean, I don't know. So, Dave, you want to take it away with this next one?
Yeah. So, the Disney version of Cruella and the Black Widow is going to be released in theaters, get this, and Disney Plus, May 28th and July 9th. So May 28th for Cruella, $30 Premier Access, Disney Plus, and in theaters, and then July 9th for Black Widow. Okay, so I am stoked about Cruella. I love how dark this looks. I mean, clearly the whole
trailer looks amazing.
Super dark. And, you know, all joking aside, all the Joker vibes, by the way. Okay.
Yeah.
But I know that I'm not the Marvel guy, and this is probably not fair, but Black Widow, I think that movie's going to bomb. And here's why. I'm probably the 1% of this. I think it took too long for this to come about. And clearly right now, all eyes are on Wanda when it comes to the woman in the spotlight in Marvel. And that's, I mean, I know that clearly has to do with WandaVision, but I mean, that's all the rage. And then of course, we're all going to be waiting for her in the next Doctor Strange movie. So all the attention and focus is on that. And from what few movies I've seen, so forgive my ignorance, Black Widow doesn't seem that big of a character in the Marvel universe to spawn off her own movie. And I know all the eggs and tomatoes are coming right now.
Yeah.
So go.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the vibe. I don't think so. I mean, Black Widow isn't necessarily big right now, but what has been one of the most requested things, and I heard this from, I think it was like a little like behind the scenes Black Widow thing that they released, is this film is one of the highest requested films they've ever had. Like everybody wants a Black Widow origin story, and that's what this is. Because like you hear a lot about this dark, mysterious past that she has, and you know why, you know, she should be in jail, and it's like things like that. It's like,
so should
okay, show me why. So I think that's what they're going for.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, yes, she's not a huge character in the Marvel universe, but she's a very intriguing character. And, you know, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Endgame, Dave, she's one of the people that sacrifices herself for the greater good of the world, essentially. So Marvel people are a loyal bunch. So I think that those fans are going to flock to the movie theaters, flock to Disney Plus to see this origin story. I've been waiting for it. I was super stoked before coronavirus came out, and I'm super new to the Marvel universe. Like we've talked about, I binged watched 12 movies to get to the point where I could see Endgame. And I was super excited just from what I saw in those movies to see this origin story with Black Widow. So if I'm like that, I can only imagine what the diehard Marvel fans are like. So I think this movie's going to be, I don't think it's going to bomb. It's not going to be Endgame numbers, but I think it's going to be pretty popular.
I mean, I know I've waited for this movie for quite some time now, ever since I heard of its existence. So I'm really excited. I know I'm one of those people that's going to flock to the movie theater to see it. So, yeah.
Well, I'll be right back. I got to go change. I'm got eggs and tomato juice all over me. I'll leave that. Hey, Brandon, I still have to watch The Mighty Ducks, man. I haven't seen it. Isn't that movie from the 90s?
You need to watch it, man. You need to watch it. The Mighty Ducks is launching today.
I know.
When they're hearing this episode on Friday, The Mighty Ducks will be coming out. So the original cast is going to get together for an episode on the reboot.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome to see. This is a classic movie of childhood, man. If you got to watch The Mighty Ducks. This is great.
All right.
It's a great
movie.
The
only one.
And I'm super excited to check it out.
I haven't seen it either. I'd like to see it though.
I know,
you need to have a movie night.
And I like Emilio Estevez, so like I would be drawn to him. But I always think it's so cool when they do these movies so many years later. I love that like the main characters of the original cast are going to be in an episode. It'll be neat to see how they put all that together. But yeah, it launches the 26th. That'll be the day this releases, and you can check it out. Disney Plus is just blowing it up.
Speaking of blowing it up, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of blowing it up, the highly anticipated new series started last week, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Super. Did you guys watch it?
Yeah.
What?
You better believe it.
Yeah.
I forgot Dave's not a comic book fan.
It was okay. Let's unpack a little bit of it before we get out of here. All right. So you guys were right. This was going to be huge. So big that Disney didn't provide actual numbers, but it beat out WandaVision and the season 2 premiere of Mando. And it was the most watched series premiere ever on Disney Plus.
I told you, Marvel fans are a loyal bunch.
So let me continue. Interesting stat. Right now, Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 93, but the audience gives it a 79. It's a pretty big difference.
That's a big difference.
Okay, now here's what I had. I read a lot of reviews after I watched it, watched some YouTube things to unpack and get some more of the backstory because I'm so not... I just didn't watch the movies. I'm a stupid person. So here's my problem with even a lot of people said, love the action at the beginning and then it was really boring after that. I don't know why I did like a dude's voice for that. I don't know
a
what
macho
that was.
dude voice.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm a jock.
It was super.
Yeah. So, and so here's my thing. I had more of a problem with the opening scene. So I'm not going to give it away because it's still fairly fun. We did it with WandaVision. We're a week behind. We're going to do it. Yeah. So it was very action-packed. The Falcon was sent to go and extract somebody, I think. Yeah. And where they couldn't really send, it needed to be under the radar.
Yeah.
And so he goes in to get this guy. So they had hijacked a giant plane. Okay. The pilot had been shot and it was on autopilot, and they got the guy on there. So they're going somewhere. All right. So here's my first problem. Falcon comes to the plane. Oh no! They all put on their little wingsuits, grab the guy that he's supposed to be rescuing, and do their little wing thing, which is pretty rad. If you've watched any like Red Bull stuff or GoPro, like those things are dope. And so they all 37 of them jump out of the plane with this wing thing. Okay. And so they're going. So here's my question: were they riding this plane all the way to their destination? And why I ask that is because then not one, not two, not three, but 4 helicopters were a part of this action sequence. No one is that prepared except for war. So I think that's what gets me about these. Like, I get that Rambo, my time frame, I get that was not realistic either. But I mean, these guys jump out and it's like one helicopter after another. I was just like, are you kidding me? This isn't even close to but was it action packed? Sure. But then the rest of it, straight up snooze fest.
Okay. Hold on just a second. We're talking about the same universe where there's a witch who shoots like these red wiggly woos out of her hands. We're talking about the same universe that Thanos came and got these 6 stones that exist, that are a real thing.
Snapped people out of existence. We're talking about...
Can we talk about that glove was a little too blinged out for a dude that big? Can we just talk about that too? He was a little blinged out. Go ahead.
A dude who doesn't exist.
Not anymore. I know that much.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't...
yeah. I mean, I'm with you. If your argument for this is it was unrealistic, that's a bad argument. I mean, you started the argument with a guy who has a wingsuit that flies around and lands on the outside of a plane. If you cannot suspend your disbelief at that point, you just need to stop watching.
Okay,
it's true.
Here's the one complaint that I had, which you're right? There was a boatload of action at the beginning, and then the rest of the episode was, I get it, they're laying the groundwork. I know how stories go, no matter what genre of entertainment they use it. You got to lay the groundwork, you got to build the characters, even though these characters we already know. It was good. It was also good to see Bucky that. There was a lot of funny moments from it. I love where they're going with him. But here's the one recommendation that I think that they needed, because that episode was so first 5 minutes action heavy and then tons and tons of story. I think they should have adopted the WandaVision model and released the first 2 episodes on the same day.
I 100% agree. I agree. Where's the other episode? However, if you have paid attention to the marketing on this show, they're only doing 6 episodes.
Oh, that's right.
So I mean, if you release 2 of them, then that, we talked about the nostalgia and waiting for the next week. If you get a third of them gone in the first day, it's gonna be over too quick.
Gonna be real. It's a bit of nostalgia I didn't want. Okay,
I will say this. Huge spoiler about this episode. Stop the podcast right now. Okay. The Captain America guy. Oh my gosh. When you stack him up next to Chris Evans, it's oh honey, that was a good try.
That was a good try. And did you notice he looked like the dude from Up?
Yes.
So look, but here's what's crazy. I did recognize him. I was like, where do I recognize him from? And so that is Kurt Russell and who was in Overboard? Help me out, Brandon. You're old too. Yeah, that's their son. That's their son. Yes.
Oh,
he's been in a bunch of different things, and he's coming up in some other cool movies. But I was like, I knew I recognized him. He typically has a beard and really, really long hair. But I was like, that's why it took me a second. I had to actually look it up. But and it was so funny. I think he tweeted out or social media'd out somewhere. He was like, I hope people don't hate me because I'm the new Captain America. And I was like, hate you? No, you just look like a wuss in comparison.
Look weird.
So I want you to tell me right now, how did Kurt Russell's son get a job at Disney? How did it happen? It's unprecedented.
Oh, good call. So the backstory of that, if you don't know, early when they were launching the Haunted Mansion, Kurt Russell was like a teenager, maybe I think he was 16. He was in the little behind the scenes making of video.
No. He was a kiddo, like a young kid.
Yeah. But it's crazy. Yeah, he was totally in the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, intro, or not intro video, but hey, it's the new attraction, whatever.
The promotional video.
Thank you. Words are my favorite.
Want to know a fun fact? Walt Disney's last written words were Kurt Russell. Nobody knows why.
No one knows why.
That's creepy.
Nobody knows why. How would you feel to be that human?
Kurt's like, I got no idea. I think they asked him. He was like, I have no idea why he wrote that. Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. I got nothing, man.
Man, I don't know where to go from there. That was just weird. Kurt Russell. Maybe we can have him on the show. Probably not going to happen. Matthew, let's call him Kurt. Where can the people connect with us during the week?
You can connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at 80podfm, ADPODFM. You can go to our website and you can find merch and Attraction Madness on there, anotherdispodcast.com. And, Patreon. Don't forget. Support us on Patreon and you'll have some fun extras. Yeah.
Love it. Have a great week. We'll see you on Tuesday with Reimagineer It.
Reimagineer It. Have a good week.